Hi, everybody. Dan Oman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Friday, February the 3rd. Race number 6 at Santa Anita, featuring a rock-solid group of fillies and mares going 9 furlongs on the turf. Second level allowance, $80,000 claiming option. Let's take a peek at this field. Please scan the QR code for race of the day access on mobile. Ballet Dancing stepping up in class, Mike. She sure looked good last time. First time blinkers dusting off a first level allowance group.
Yeah, she ran really well last time. It was certainly a nice step in the right direction. I kind of feel like she's the horse to beat, Dan, despite the move up in class here. But I recognize that this is the kind of race where trips are going to be pretty important. I think a lot of different horses can win here, but I think the 3 is the horse to beat.
I think you're absolutely right about trips being very important. And Ballet Dancing did show a little bit more early interest with the addition of blinkers and worked out a good tracking trip. According to Timeform US, she's nowhere to be seen on our Timeform US pace projector. We've got her at the back of the pack, so she might have to hope that A, this Timeform US pace projector is wrong and she can be closer to the pace, or B, she'll get some pace and race luck.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I just based on her most recent start, and this doesn't look like it's a race that's going to be run at a super fast pace. I'll be surprised if she's, last early in this race. It's certainly possible, but as you've already pointed out, they put blinkers on last time, and she was much more engaged early in that race.
The number 1, Freedom Lass, does have tactical speed. She'll be coming into this race off a 2-month layoff. She's been at this level on 3 occasions, and she's run okay all 3 times. She just hasn't been able to break through. But breaking from the inside post with her tactical speed for a very underrated barn, she might work out a trip at a price.
Yeah, I mean, it would certainly be wise of them, I feel like, to just sort of use what speed that she has here, breaking from the inside, and just to try to go and maybe make the early lead in this race. She's not that far off of some of these horses, even though a lot of her work's been done sort of in the starter ranks, Dan. Most recent start didn't have, a huge excuse in there, but she was sort of in and among horses for a long way there, and she was running on at the end.
Connections might have gotten a little bit of a bargain on the 2, TikTok Famous. She's already multiple stakes placed, and she sold for only $17,000 at Keeneland November 2022. Now, the last time she ran on the turf was at the end of 2021. She won that race. She's been competing on synthetic in recent starts, including this race back in late September at Gulfstream Park when she was trained by Saffie Joseph. She gets beaten by an odds-on winner. The runner-up would come back to win a second-level allowance on the turf at Gulfstream with an 85 buyer. So she's kept good competition, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, she has. We'll see. You're right, Dan. Maybe this is a purchase that'll work out for these connections if they can get her going and keep her going. She could not get a campaign, much of a campaign in last year as a 4-year-old. Only 3 starts, a layoff after each one of those, as you've already mentioned, did win that most recent turf start. It was a long time ago.
Ballet Dancing, the number 3, seems very comfortable at 1 1/8 miles. She's already graded stakes placed at this distance. Here's her win against First Level Allowance Company, going 9 furlongs towards the end of December. Frankie Dettori found a really good spot in the second flight with Ballet Dancing. She made a 3-wide bursting move to the front, and she's off to the races. This is not a strong field that she's beating, so she's going to have to prove it against tougher.
Yeah, I guess so. This is a little bit of a breakthrough for her, though. She was pretty good as a 3-year-old, Dan. Another one that didn't have, a super long campaign, but she ran well in those races. 2 stakes in between them, an allowance race where she got pretty unlucky in the trip department and was making up ground way too late. I felt like she really took a big step forward last time.
The number 4 in here is Gold for Kitten. And last time out, she turned all the way back into a sprint in a first start off a little bit of a layoff. And I wonder if the connections were using that race as a prep to get her back around 2 turns where she could show more of her speed. She has shown ability going middle distances, stakes placed on both turf and synthetic routing.
Yeah, I think they should go forward with her in here. I just felt like she was a pretty tough call in this race. I don't care that much about the most recent start where they went down the hill with her. Prior to that, maybe you could just argue it was a tougher field in that stakes race, but I didn't think she ran great in there, even though she wound up finishing second. I don't know. I just thought she was too tough a call here, and I didn't really want to take her, especially if she takes money, which I think is possible.
Buzz of New York, the number 5, is in excellent form right now for Phil D'Amato. Leading rider Juan Hernandez takes them out. Here's her first start at this second level allowance level at Del Mar early in December. And as you see, she's trying to come from out of it. She's in behind horses, looking for a scene. She's going to dive down towards the inside, get on through, and just miss. Maybe being held up for just that fraction of a second cost her the race.
It might have. I mean, that's certainly a fair way to look at it, Dan. She was sort of just stuck behind the eventual winner there as they both sat on the rail the entire way. The winner got through first. She had to try to follow her and then come up to her inside. And she actually ran pretty well in there. I have no knocks on her current form.
Dramatizer is up next, and this horse was claimed by Keith DeZormo 3 starts back. They ran her in a first level allowance on turf going 1 1/8 miles. She came from off the pace. She made that claim look good. Now they stepped her way up in distance, way up in class. She showed speed in that race. I'm just drawing a line through it. I like her down here for the 80 and down at this distance.
I do too. I don't care about the last race where they put her on the lead. She's run a lot, Dan. Most of her races make it seem like this might be a little bit too tough for her, but she's a reclaim for Keith DeSormo. She actually broke her maiden for him a couple of years ago. He took her back when she was in for 40, and I thought she ran really well, winning off the claim 2 starts back. That trip worked out, but she ran really well that day.
The number 7, Cuora, was a Group 3 winner in her native Peru, and she's a 7-time winner. And she sort of found her level in middling claiming races. We're going to watch her most recent start, $32,000 seller at Del Mar on November the 12th. And we see here, Cuora, for a brief instant, looks like she's in a little bit of traffic. But Ryan Curatolo remains patient, gets Cuora to the outside, and the trip works out.
Yeah, the trip worked out really well. She's also much the best in here. Once she got into the clear, she runs right by these horses and is going away at the end. This is a good performance. She has some back races that would give her a real chance in here, Dan. I wonder if she can keep it going.
You wouldn't be nuts if you liked the 8, Macadamia, who just got beat a neck last time out in that Buzz of New York race, where we saw Buzz of New York being held up a little bit in behind horses. Macadamia tried to sweep on the outside. Maybe she hung a little bit in the stretch, but it was also her first start off a little bit of a layoff. And what I do like about her is that tactical speed. She can be placed wherever Tiago Pereira wants.
I agree. I feel like there's a good trip coming for her in here. And you could also just point out for that most recent start, Dan, she was on the outside the entire way, 3-4 wide trip, sort of tracking the pace. The 1-2 finishers both got through on the inside and just got by her at the end. I thought she ran well last time. They tried the stake 2 starts back, and she ran fine in there. 3 starts back, she might have gotten a little unlucky that day too, a little bit tight and held up at the top of the stretch and then ran on at the end. I think she's a major player in here.
Before we get to our top selections, please click that subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top selection time, Friday race of the day, $80,000 optional claiming event. We both like ballet dancing. I like the improved tactical speed she showed last time out with the blinkers, like the way she finished off that field. Is this a tougher spot? Yes, but she's always shown a little bit of ability. I still think she has some upside.
Yeah, I looked at it the same way, Dan. I really liked her most recent performance. I know she's up in class a little bit here. It's going to be tougher for her to beat this field, but I think she has another forward move in her. I like a couple of horses to the outside to use with her, but I think this is a good spot for this horse.
Same superfecta, different order. Mike's going 3-6-8-5. I'm going 3-8-5-6 in Friday's race of the day. Best of luck.